I cannot see the energy, guys. Come on, please. You could excite more, show more energy.
So about me, I am a co-founder and CEO of Quill Audits. So what we do, we are a Web3 focused cybersecurity company. Okay. So many of you guys already heard that blockchain is very secure, data tamper nahi ho sakta, everything is secure, right? And that's why we need blockchain for data transparency, data security and everything. But why we are talking about blockchain security or blockchain cybersecurity, why we need it? So if blockchain is already secure, right? So why we need blockchain security, blockchain cybersecurity, what's the need of these things we are going to discuss in this session. Okay. So we started our journey in 2017 and we are having multiple blockchain products that help in supply chain tracking and transparency. Quill Play is for blockchain developers where you can easily create dynamic smart contracts on Ethereum, Polygon, all kind of blockchain, right? We recently launched Web3 Suggest. Web3 Suggest is a you can say a community product where you can learn about blockchain. From Web2 to Web3 you can learn about blockchain, all the topics, all the good books, all the influencers, all good blockchain development companies, all good blockchain developers are there on in this platform. Okay, so I think most of you guys are not blockchain developers or not fully into blockchain, so you guys must explore this Web3 Suggest product. So it will help you in guiding from Web2 to Web3 space. Okay, so less time to get serious. Why we need about Web3 security, right? Web3 is very cool. Like nowadays, everyone talking about DeFi, NFT, and everything, right? But in this cool Web3 and metaverse, there are so many, or you can say millions or billions of dollars of tokens and cryptocurrencies are, hacks and vulnerabilities are there. So we are going to discuss why these vulnerabilities, scams are into Web3. Okay, so you can see one example. If you guys seen that, like due to a fake job letter on a developer email, there was a hack, or you can say a scam around $600 million. $600 million, that's a huge money, right? So I think in Web2 we never heard about so many big scams and hacks, right? In Zomato, in Flipkart, or all kind of these Web2 startups, we have heard कि उसका data चोरी हो गया, उसका hackers ने data चुरा लिया, वो कर लिया, वो करे, right? But money was not there, right? But in Web3 the money is involved, and that's why there is so many big scams are going on. Okay, and that's why we need a blockchain security or Web3 security. Okay, so we can see in 2022 around $2 billion already lost into scams and vulnerabilities in 2022, and this data is $10 billion was from last year, like 2021. So you can see in 1 year around $10 to $15 billion assets, or you can say tokens or cryptocurrencies are you can say getting lost due to scams and vulnerabilities, and that's a huge money, right? Okay, so why these attack vectors, scams, and these things are going into Web3? So because this Web3 is very new world, right? This very new and cool world, and the language is very new. Like you guys are writing smart contracts on Solidity language, right? So the language is very, very new. There is no best practices, but there are some best practices currently, but most of the developers are not following the best practices, and due to the you can say best practices, we are getting into scams and every kind of these kind of bugs, right? Okay. Okay, so we'll discuss why these Web2 hackers, right? जो Web2 में जो hackers थे वो data चुरा रहे थे, वो Web3 के अंदर क्यों आ रहे हैं, right? Why these are moving from Web2 to Web3? In Web3 the code, the smart contract that you writing, like Web3 में जो code होता है उसको हम smart contract बोलते हैं, right? The writing in Solidity language, or if you are building on Solana or other blockchain, we are building a smart contract in Rust language, right? So in Web3 the code is the money, right? So why code is the money? Like if you're writing any smart contract, if you're writing any smart contract for any NFT, any DeFi product, or any DAO or any kind of products you are building, right? So in your smart contracts, the money is involved, right? Like maybe you are writing a smart contract for any token, maybe for any DeFi product where you are having decentralized lending and borrowing, right? So in your smart contracts, you can say the Ethereum, any stable coins, any your native tokens are involved in your smart contracts, right? And if the money is involved in your tokens or into smart contracts, so the hacker will try to break your smart contract. He's not interested in breaking Zomato or Flipkart application or data, right? If he can break directly into a smart contracts and go with the I have shared one example, $600 million of assets was stolen, right? So in Web3, the code is the money, and Web3 there is no legal rules are involved, right? If there is any scams, if any vulnerabilities, there are no legal rules, no protection from these things. That's why these Web2 hackers are moving to Web3, right? And in Web3, if you guys have seen, Web3 में क्या हो रहा है, that if any protocol or any product is coming, most of the products are anonymous, right? There is no founder of that product having the, you can say, social profile on LinkedIn and Twitter. Like some of products having the, you can say the correct profile on LinkedIn and Twitter and everything, but most of the products having anonymous profiles, and these products are giving you just assume 10 to 15 returns on any DeFi product or any kind of decentralized finance applications you are building, right? So these DeFi products are giving you 10 to 15 or 20% you can say yield, or you can say returns on your investments into cryptocurrencies, right? So mostly or you can say mostly the Indian guys are investing into these DeFi products, right? Because we Indians are so much connected with money. Like अगर कोई product 15 to 20% return दे रहा है तो उसमें invest कर देते हैं, right? And but the product, the owner profile is anonymous, right? You don't know कि कौन है, क्या build कर रहा है, and that founder is doing the rug pull. Rug pull क्या होता है कि वो product को ही बंद कर देता है, right? The website and everything is gone, but you invested your so much money, right? So that's why there is so many rug pulls are involved. So in last month we had one session with Gurgaon cybercrime team. So I was checking some FIR, right? So one guy from Gurgaon invested around 90 lakh rupees in a DeFi product. 90 लाख रुपए उसने DeFi product में invest कर दिए, because that product was giving around 15% yield on your Ethereum or any stable coin investments, right? And that project got rug pulled, like सब कुछ बंद हो गया, you cannot track the product, right? कुछ पता ही नहीं कर सकते हम. So that's why these Web2 hackers, or you can say these kind of founders are coming, they want to make quick money. So that's a kind of trend why these Web2 hackers are moving. Okay, so we can see some of the biggest incidents like $600 million, $200 million, some all are big numbers, right? All are big numbers, right? So you can see in some all the big numbers, the projects are not audited, right? So what is auditing in blockchain space or in Web3 space? So auditing क्या होती है? It's a kind of a testing. You are testing your smart contract, right? The smart contract that you're writing in Solidity language or Rust language, or some blockchains are supporting like C# or these kind of languages also for writing smart contracts, right? So it's like a testing of your smart contracts before you are going live, like before you are deploying your smart contract into any blockchain. Like any means it can be Avalanche, it can be Polkadot, it can be EVM chains, right? So we can see these most of the projects are unaudited, right? And all these projects are big projects. So we'll discuss why there is need of auditing into Web3 space. In DeFi, NFT, DAO space, blockchain में auditing की क्या जरूरत है? Okay. So we can see like some unaudited projects. Unaudited means कि वो project किसी third party ने test नहीं किए थे, right? But some of you guys are thinking why we have to test from the third party. हम खुद उस project को test क्यों नहीं कर सकते, right? So in Web2, like you can test your product. Like if you're a Web2 developer or Android or any API developer, you can test your APIs and you can deploy on server, right? And if there is any bug, you can fix it again and you can deploy your app or API on your cloud, right? बट इन वेब 3 द स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कोड इज इम्यूटेबल, राइट. मतलब एक बार अपन ने कोड कर दिया, वो कर दिया. यू कैन नॉट चेंज द कोड वंस द योर स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कोड इज डिप्लॉयड ऑन एनी ब्लॉकचेन, and on that blockchain, or you can say that DApp, the smart contracts, if already millions of dollars of transactions are going on and millions of dollars of assets are locked into your smart contract, the DApp that you have developed, right. So you cannot change the code of a smart contracts once it's code deployed, right. So just assume you are building a aeroplane, right. You're building a aeroplane is similar to your writing smart contracts, right. कि एक बार एरोप्लेन उड़ गया, एक बार स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट डिप्लॉय कर दिया तो कर दिया, राइट. इफ देयर इज एनी हैक और छोटी सी भी गलती की वजह से you will get into so many big trouble, right. So that's why there is a need of auditing in security into web3 products, right. So the blockchain, the core blockchain, the you can say the protocol of Ethereum, Bitcoin and everything, these are safe and secure, but the DApp, the smart contracts that you're writing on the top of these protocols, Ethereum के ऊपर हम smart contracts बना रहे हैं, any blockchain के ऊपर जो smart contracts बना रहे हैं, these smart contracts are we developers are writing, right. And this language is very very new, right. That's why there is so many scams, and that's why there is need of auditing, because there is so many involved in these projects. But you can see like unaudited projects also got hacked, and audited projects also get hacked, right. So auditing is not a 100% you can say guarantee to safe or secure your project, right. But it's giving you you can say it's giving you some you can say chances to minimize the risk of hacks or vulnerabilities, right. Okay, so we can see the trends, like every year the blockchain adoption is going on, right. Like all these web3 cool DApps products are coming, and every year the scams, the money stolen from these virtual assets, you can see is also going on. Like last year it was around $12 billion, right. Okay, so so if you're writing any smart contracts, right, the smart contracts is not everything. Like you are writing smart contracts for any DApp, any use case. Like one of the use case that we in that last track we were listening, putting the healthcare data on the blockchain, right. So for that putting the data, maybe you are writing the smart contracts. Smart contracts is only one part, but indirectly you are building the web, the front end APIs and everything, right. So you can see the 50% attacks are on the smart contracts, rest are on the other layers. Other layers means front end, your DNS, your back end and cloud and everything, right. So 50% attack vectors on smart contracts, and 50% is a big number, right. But why this 50% is a big number? Because if the attacker is attacking these platforms like DNS and everything, or maybe your front end and cloud and anything, he will not get so much money out of it. But if he is attacking the smart contracts, in your smart contracts the money is involved, your tokens, your NFT, maybe your NFT value is millions of dollars, right. That's why he is attacking the smart contracts more. Okay, so that's is a smart contract auditing process. So what is a smart contract auditing process, right? So you can say it's a testing process that any Web3 security or Web3 cyber security company is following. So in future, I hope you guys are also going to write smart contracts. That's why you are in this conference, right? So that's a usual smart contract auditing process that you should follow while you're writing the smart contracts, or maybe you are working with any third party auditing company, right? The first step is prepare the best, you can say the unit test cases, best documentation of your smart contracts, right? The documentation is the I think necessity also in Web 2 and Web 3 world, right? So, there should be best documentation, and the unit test cases should be 95% plus, right? So that the auditor can more focus on the security side of the solidity, right? As a developer, it's your duty to write best documentation and best unit cases, right? The first step is to make good documentation. The second is, that's a part of an auditor, right? The auditor, right? So that's the next steps are some static analysis using some tools to figure out some issues, some backdoors, smart contracts, right? So what is a backdoor? Backdoor means like if you're writing any token smart contract. So token smart contract is a basic smart contracts, right? जब blockchain में सबसे पहले आएंगे तो सबसे पहले एक token का smart contracts लिखते हैं. You can say the ERC20 smart contracts, right? So in your ERC token, if there is any backdoor, so what is a backdoor? Backdoor, just assume एक ERC20 token का smart contract बना रहे हैं, उसमें a user can send a token from his wallet to another guy, right? So backdoor can be कि the product owner can send a token on the behalf of that user to other users, right? That's a backdoor, right? Because only that user, I'm the owner of that token, I can only send the tokens, right? So that's a backdoor in your smart contract, right? Then functional testing, I think is you guys are very similar. Functional testing is to make sure your product is working as per the use case, as per the white paper, as per the technical paper, right? Or yeah. The next is manual analysis. Manual analysis is a line by line or code by you can say line by line analysis of your Solidity code or REST code to make sure it's written in the best and secure way, right? And then the some steps are sharing of auditing reports and everything, right? So these are some of the steps that a Web3 cybersecurity company or a smart contract auditor usually follow, right? And that's a very, very important process for you guys if you are moving from Web2 to Web3, right? Well, code karna is very easy, but you can say the perfect code that you guys are going to deploy is very much important. Okay, so I think in the last slide we have seen some unaudited project got hacked around like millions of dollars, and some audited projects are also get hacked, right? So these are some of the I think guidelines that we as a company share with blockchain developers, blockchain product owners and everything, right? The first step is, I think for if any of you guys are the product owners, say everything, hire the best developers, right? I suggest don't hire from freelance any of these freelancer platforms, but you can hire from freelancer platform that if the product that guy is having good profile, not the anonymous profile, right? Just random username, right? Because we have seen in while auditing around 700 plus companies. We have worked with around 700 plus companies in last 3 years, right? So we are working with Gaming Loft, also work with Flipkart, also work with Mobile Premier League, MPL. You guys are fan of cricket, so maybe heard of MPL, right? So because these freelancer guys always try to write a backdoor in smart contracts so that they can control the smart contracts and can stole money out of it, right? So hire the best developers, right? And always go with full platform auditing or security, right? So we in the last slide I have shared with you guys, 50% attacks are on the smart contracts and rest 50% are on the other layers, like you can say front end and back end, right? Choose the best auditing companies. Like in market there are so many auditing companies, right? And because this Web3 space is very new, or maybe you want to move from Web2 to Web3, and Web3 is same for everyone. It's same for Mark Zuckerberg, is same for a college guys, right? Because we have seen in our journey a college guy from India raising millions of dollars for his project, and he's in first and second year only, right? So it's same for everyone, same for you guys also. So always go with best auditing companies. Don't go with any auditing company because you are new into Web3 and you don't have money. Maybe you are putting some lakhs into that product and you are thinking ki mere paas itna paisa, I can get the auditing report, I can get the testing in maybe some thousands rupees, right? But hoga kya, you are putting your life saving into that product, and just assume that product got hacked and there is some scams and everything. Your life saving, the vision of the product is gone, right? So go with the best auditing company, best cybersecurity company, right? And or try to go with 2 auditing companies. That's the best option. Why 2 auditing companies? Because auditing is not giving you 100% guarantee or warranty that your project is safe or secure, right? We are just minimizing the risk because this language, this Web3 is very, very new. The next step is go with bug bounty on some good platforms like Code for Arena and Immunify, and we are having our own bug bounties platforms also, right? And just assume you go on with the bug bounty, you go on with auditing and everything, right? The next step is after deployment. Like after deployment, you should go with any monitoring startup that is monitoring your smart contracts and giving you alerts if there is any wrong transaction is going into smart contracts and everything, right? And yeah. And the one thing I think most of the projects are doing it, they are just forking the project from, just assume they are forking Uniswap or any kind of projects they are forking, right? And they are thinking ki maine just fork hi kiya, what's the need of auditing? But just assume, just because of one line of code you have added in your smart contract and that is not audited and not tested, and maybe that because of that one line of code you can get into any scam or vulnerabilities, right? So if you are forking any projects, if you are building any fork of any blockchain or any existing interesting cool product, so auditing is also required for that. Okay, so these are some of the guidelines that we usually follow or share with the developers, also share with products also, right? Okay, I think if you guys are writing smart contracts, you definitely know about Open Zeppelin, right? So Open Zeppelin is providing good libraries for the developers, blockchain developers. So always use Open Zeppelin libraries to write your smart contracts, right? Because these Open Zeppelin libraries are used by, you can say, millions of projects, and these are already audited by multiple companies, right? Always write unit test cases with 90% code coverage, right? So this is for the blockchain developers guidelines. If you're writing the smart contracts, go with best unit or test coverage, right? And I think we discussed this fourth point, don't rush for code, because in this Web3 space, everyone is trying to become a, you can say, Web3 entrepreneur, Web3 freelancers, and they are always in rush to code and go live, right? So don't rush for the code, maybe the project owner or putting his life saving for that product. Okay. So if you guys are new into Web3, I will suggest to follow some good security newsletters. Like we are having our own security newsletter. Hashing Bits is a very good weekly newsletter that is subscribed by good venture funds from India and outside also. Blocksec is also good security newsletter, so you guys can follow to stay updated with the current hacking, you can say current hacks security guidelines. Okay. The first thing that we usually suggest, like we work with many projects every month. We work with around 20 to 30 projects we are working with, right? And if we are hiring any developer or auditor, the first thing that I will suggest to go to read Ethereum blockchain yellow paper, right? So that if you are a core developer, it will help you in understanding of the, you can say, the deep architecture of the Ethereum, how it is working, right? So always advise to go, always read the Ethereum blockchain yellow paper. That will help you in understanding deep of the Ethereum, or you can say the EVM chains, right? Okay, and if you are writing, if you are just assuming you are a blockchain developer, and if you are writing code for DeFi product, right? Like you are very good in DeFi, so always follow DeFi best practices. If you are an NFT developer, follow the NFT best practices, right? So why I'm talking about these best practices, right? Some of you guys are thinking, if I'm a developer, I can write for the both. You can write for the both, but all the use cases are very, very different. All the attack vectors on DeFi NFT are very, very different, right? There is so many scams are going into NFT and everything. If you are on Twitter, you are getting so many private messages just invest in this NFT. On Discord, there is so many scams are going on, right? So NFT attack vectors, NFT security guidelines are very different, and DeFi are very different. And the Solidity security, you can say, guidelines is a bit different, right? So first is the Solidity best practices, because Solidity you're writing the smart contracts. Then you have to understand the DeFi auditing guidelines. Then you have to understand the NFT guidelines, and then you can understand DAO best practices auditing guidelines, right? Okay, so this is our ecosystem that we are trying to build, and some of the tools are already live, right? So how we are helping the products and into security and auditing. So in Quill Audits, what we do the manual smart contract auditing, manual smart contract security, right? And Quill Monitor is that we are trying to build is a smart contract monitoring system that we discussed in the last slide. Like if you deploy your smart contract, you should be setting the alerts so that you can get if any wrong transaction is going into a smart contract site. So that will help you in online, you can say, transaction monitoring, right? QuillPlay is a tool, a product for developers. If you're new into blockchain, you can go to QuillPlay, write some smart contracts just by inputting some values. You will get the source code and you can deploy in the blockchain, right? And just assume you develop your smart contracts maybe by yourself or using QuillPlay. Quill Relay will help you in getting the first basic smart contract auditing report. That is very much important, right? And the next step is definitely to go with a good smart contract auditing firm like us, or maybe like there are so many good players are also there, right? Okay, so that's more about us. So we are, you can say, the core, or you can say whitelisted auditor for Polygon ecosystem. Also we work with some good venture funds. If you guys already know Builders Tribe, Woodstock is a Web3 focused investment fund from India. And Foundership, I think if you are in Delhi NCR, they are doing every month Web3 focused breakfast on Thursday, right? So you guys can explore Foundership and join Web3 focused breakfast, morning breakfast on every Thursday, first Thursday of the week, right? So you guys should explore about Foundership, and they are building very good community in every you can say good cities like Delhi, Bangalore, and everything, right? So we okay, so I think I discussed about this Web3 Suggest products. So you guys can go to Web3 Suggest, right? So here, like most of you guys are new into Web3 or trying to go into Web3 space. So you can go to Web3 Suggest, and you can topic wise you can read about Web3, like what are smart contracts, what are the tokens, everything. You can follow some roadmaps. You can get in courses. You will get to know about Web3 focused ad tech companies that are providing good courses, right? So we just added all the data there, right? And if you are joining the events, like you want to join many more events, just go to Web3 events, and here you will go, you will get all the weekly events. All the weekly events, you don't have to go to multiple platforms ki kal koi event ho raha hai, nahi ho raha hai, right? You will get all the events there. You can join the top communities on Web3, right? India mein kaun si best Web3 communities hai, right? OG Club, Foundership. There are so many good groups are there, like Blockchain India, right? So there are so many good communities in India. You will get all the communities there, right? Web3 tools, good tools for Web3 developers and security guys. If you are new into Web3, so you can explore on tools, right? So these are for the learners, right? And these are for the you can say the builders, the product owners, right? So you can explore all the good marketing companies in India, right? Like you will go here, you can see Coin Gabbar also, like he's the one of the sponsor there, right? All good marketing companies are there, all good security companies, Web3 consultants, blockchain development companies. If you want to raise fund from India, so good Web3 focused venture capitals, incubators are also there, right? So Web3 suggests we just launch a product for community, so you can explore everything. You can apply for jobs and everything, right? Okay, I think this is a bit old. Okay, so thanks. That's all from my side. You guys can scan it and explore more about our product Quill audits and Web3 Suggest, and we can connect on LinkedIn or Twitter. Yeah. Yes, please. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I haven't explored the bridge, the Binance bridge attack yet, right? But the bridge are the very complex things, right? In Web3, the you can say the so many attacks and vulnerabilities are going into the bridge only, because they are very complex thing. You are mapping two blockchains, right? एक blockchain से token इधर transfer करते हो, फिर you are having your own servers, then you're burning tokens and everything is going on. So that's a very complex system. There is no currently, I say, अगर Binance का ब्रिज हैक हो सकता है, तो अभी आई से कि अभी कोई नहीं कर सकता उसको, राइट? तो वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स थिंग्स, अभी तक ब्रिज में बहुत हैक्स एंड वल्नरेबिलिटीज चल रही हैं, बट आई हैवंट एक्सप्लोर्ड बाइनेंस अटैक वेक्टर येट, बट मे बी माई टीम एक्सप्लोर्ड इट, बट आई हैवंट एक्सप्लोर्ड इट येट. Okay, thanks from my side, and if any questions, let me know. auditing is required whenever you are going live for the product, right? Just assume अगर आप funding तो seed stage में उठा सकते हो, like idea पे उठा सकते हो, right? But you are launching the product maybe after 5 to 6 months. So before going live, the auditing is required, right? So you can get to know about more venture funds. So we also invest in products. We invest in good India Web3 funds. We are launching our Quill Audit focused ecosystem funds where we invest in Web3 startups also, right? So in Web3, suggest you guys can explore all good Web3 focused venture funds if you are looking for funding. Okay.